Greetings and welcome everyone to this session. And thanks for joining. Thanks, Shri, for introducing and giving an pretext of what's iQuantM and what we are going to do here. Let's get into this webinar now. Okay. Before introducing RISE with SAP, I would like to discuss about the term intelligent enterprise, or as it's extended now, intelligent and sustainable enterprise. So, what's intelligent enterprise? The way that business is being performed over the years, there is a big shift in paradigm. Like, customers are expecting same day delivery. Like, there are new business process being performed. Enterprises are expected to connect across organization for performing their business. So there is so much of changes. There is so much of expectations from all the stakeholders. But managing all these expectations with the traditional enterprise or same old back office application is not going to stand the purpose. So we need to identify an application. We need to identify an enterprise application which is going to meet the purpose that we just spoke about. So how it will be achieved? You can integrate your customer support channels or CRM software with social media, or you can utilize technologies such as AI, and predictive analysis, or you can use Internet of Things, for connecting with your partners, etc. So is it like only the usage of advanced technologies and best practices within Agile and the integrated business process? Okay, what does it mean for business? That's the main question that everybody should be asking for. So with respect to intelligent enterprise, the main value that the business is going to get is the data should be converted into value. For instance, like, if you look into the traditional enterprise, we have systems in silos or data in silos. We used to connect these systems for reporting purpose or whatsoever, but that's not enough. Like, business needs to proactively take decisions rather than reacting for any situations. So that's intelligent enterprise. So basically, turning data into value, which can be used by organizations, with respect to top line, bottom line, and green line growth. That's what we are talking about, intelligent enterprise. So single purpose system is crucial, but cannot unlock the potential of an enterprise value. And other key thing for the business and the customers to notice is only the inside data is not relevant, but of course the outside data as well. So for this very purpose, you need to connect with the outside applications as well. So how we are going to do it? Yes, SAP thought about it very well, and you have an intelligent enterprise setup devised by SAP, wherein you have a choice of infrastructure that you can choose from, be it SAP data center or any other hyperscalers, and then the technology platform which will help you with the pre-built content and the integration capabilities. You can connect with your partners, and then you can extend your capabilities. You have applications, let's say, the intelligent suite or intelligent cloud. When we talk about intelligent suite, SAP S4 HANA, which is it's the digital core of this intelligent suite, followed by the rest of the complementary solutions offered from SAP. And the business process intelligence, one of the key concept, uh, you might be having a cutting edge technology, but if you're still following same old business process, you are not unlocking the potential of this digital core or the intelligence suite. So business process intelligence, or business process transformation using SAP Signavia, which we are going to talk about it later in this session, is one of the important thing. And you need to connect all these enterprise with the business network, like, your partners. By partners, I mean it could be your asset maintenance company, your logistic service provider, it could be your vendors, it could be your suppliers. So, as a whole, like, as an organization or an enterprise should be very well connected within the organization and also outside the organization to turn the data into a value. That's what we are referring as an intelligent and sustainable enterprise. Now that we know what is intelligent and sustainable enterprise, we discuss about what is RISE with SAP. Rise with SAP is a comprehensive service offered by SAP with three key components. Like it's an approach taking customers to the digital transformation journey with intelligent enterprise using business process redesign. And the second component would be the technical migration or system conversion if you are already in an existing SAP system. And last but not the least, a roadmap to the intelligent enterprise with the cloud approach. So I would like to iterate one thing here, like IT is not a support center anymore, or it's not a cost center anymore, but IT is enabler for the business to reach its business plan that it's devised for itself. So in addition to the three components that we have mentioned here, there are line of business solutions as well, suggested or offered by SAP, which we are going to see down the road in this webinar. Okay. Now that we have understand what is intelligent enterprise and what is rise with SAP, so what are the details, what are the components in detail inside this rise with SAP, how your journey will be to this intelligent enterprise. So in simple terms, we have we here in iQuantM have devised a 5C approach for our customers. This 5C approach is based on the key components that is offered from rise with SAP. So as I was mentioning, you have a choice to choose from your deployment choice, which is it could be a public cloud or it could be a private cloud. There is an extension to the private cloud deployment option as well, but we will talk about it a bit later. So that is the choice component, the first C of our 5C approach. And then the change component, like I was mentioning, the change is pretty much important. Uh, you know, the business process transformation is something which makes SAP successful all over the years, right from R2, R3, ECC till SAP S4 HANA, because following the SAP best practice, industry best practice is always something SAP is advocating for. SAP is pushing customers to do it, and it will increase the efficiency with a lower TCO, total cost of ownership, and then you could see the profitability. So business process intelligence is one of the key component in Rise with SAP. Uh, the change component, which is the second C in our 5C approach, and the third C, which is the convert. If you are in an existing SAP customer, we have an embedded tools delivered by SAP for you to migrate your system, for you to convert your system from existing solution to the intelligent suite, the digital core SAP S4 HANA, and the fourth C, which is connecting to your partners, your vendors, your suppliers, your buyers, or your asset management company, your logistic support provider. So this is the fourth C that we are talking about, and we do all these things to improve the customer experience. So this is the fifth C, SAP technology platform. So this 5C approach is designed by iQuantM. We have a parameters, we have metrics and everything which is defined for the customers, and based on the engagement we sit with the customers, we will discuss about these parameters, and design a roadmap for them. And the flexibility offered, as I said, the choice of deployment and the business process intelligence for change, and also the tools for digital core solution, and everything's been offered. Now we have a fair idea about intelligent suite or rise with SAP, and then we also have an idea on what are the key components of this rise with SAP, together with the 5C approach that designed by iQuantM. So you might be having a question, for example, like we have quite a good number of participants. Some of them are already in SAP, as I understand, whereas some of the customers, they are not in SAP, they are new to SAP. So how they are going to get into this journey of a digital transformation, we will explain it here. Let's say if you're a new customer with a non-ERP, like new to SAP solution, iQuantM will be engaging with you in a discovery phase, and then at the outcome of a discovery phase, we will be purchasing the license, and based on the license that we are purchasing, it could be public or it could be private. The infrastructure, the choice of infrastructure will be decided, and you will be having an once within private, as I was telling you, we will be having an option to extend, which we are going to discuss again. And once the infrastructure is readiness is in place, the implementation of digital core SAP S4 HANA solution along with SAP BTP or SAP Business Intelligence will be taking place, and then the application management support will be performed by iQuantM. And as I was telling, the real potential of the intelligence suite can be unlocked only when we are connecting across our enterprise. So for that very purpose, we will explore the options of connecting using the SAP Business Network Starter Pack, and the continuous business innovation will be performed. This continuous business innovation is key for a sustainability enterprise as well. So, and if you are already an SAP customer, yes, you have an option to consider. For instance, you want to start with a complete new intelligence suite, like you do not want to carry what you have, but you just want to you just want to be creating a new system landscape, or do you want to carve out a particular business unit from an existing intelligence suite? Yes, there is an option for this as well. Later, the rest of the business unit can join this intelligence suite. Or do you want to extend your existing ERP with the new intelligence suite? What do we mean here? For example, you are running your existing SAP application. It can be even S4 HANA, but then you decide that you will keep the HR process here uh, in this on-prem or private cloud whatsoever. But then you believe that you wanted to follow SAP public cloud for other business process like procure to pay or order to cash, etc. Yes, you can do that as well. It's a hybrid model which can also be done. Or if you want to convert your existing system, yes, there is a provision for that as well using the embedded tools that's available. So depending on these four options that the existing customers can choose from, again, iQuantum will be performing an strategy assessment with the business. We will have a workshop like walkthrough workshop and a fit to standard workshop, and as an outcome of this workshop, the roadmap will be decided. Like you are seeing here, once the roadmap is ready, the business transformation as a service will be performed, following all the 5 C's that we have just discussed before, like your choice of deployment, and then the tools and services for convert, your business process intelligence for change, and business technology platform for customer experience, and business network starter pack for connecting with the business ecosystem. So for the existing customers, like we were mentioning before, you have an option of greenfield, like you can go with a new intelligence suite altogether, leaving all the data behind and everything behind. Or you can go with an brownfield, like you are converting your existing system. And smart brownfield is just an example I was quoting before, like you would like to have some of the business functions in your in private landscape or private hosting, whereas some of the business functions you are going to follow the standard using public subscription. Yes, SAP is allowing you to choose, I mean, to do that as well. So the options are that the freedom is there for the customer to choose from. And please reach our team to know more about these options. So what are the advantages this rise with SAP model is going to bring to you? Like I was mentioning, the maintenance part of the software, it's completely taken away because it's a subscription-based license. We will discuss about license also because some of our attendees, they have even asked about it. So we included that part also during our webinar. And the infrastructure management, of course, as part of the cloud approach, it's been taken care. And the database management is also part of the one contract. So the whole RISE with SAP is one offer, one contract, like I was, shown in the previous slide. So with this one offer, all the solutions will be packaged into one offer and delivered with the customer. And under one contract, all the infrastructure management, the software management, and the application management will be taken care by the partner iQuantM here. So you don't have a hassle of managing multiple contracts. You don't have a hassle of following up different projects, etc. If there is one thing that is left to the customer, it is just to take care of the business. That's the beauty of RISE with SAP. And yes, we also follow the SAP Activate methodology for implementing the solution. It's pretty much following the agile methodology, using the SAP best practices and guided configuration, again with best practices. The business process intelligence is linked, whereas using SAP Signavia tool, you can import the business process model. You can adapt it according to your business need. The provisions are there. We will see it in a bit. So now, I would like to take a small recap on what we have seen so far. The intelligent enterprise, followed by Rise with SAP, and what are the components of Rise with SAP. So these are the details that we have seen, and how the journey is going to be for a new customer and also for a customer who is already there in SAP. Now the question will be, okay, there is a good idea about how things are going to be, but what are the details into it, like how it is going to impact my system, my landscape, my business. Yes, we have an answer for that using our 5C approach. And to start with, the first approach, the choice, as I was mentioning before, SAP S/4HANA public cloud subscription is for business who wanted to follow the standard business process. And what's the advantage that I would like to mention here? If you're a public cloud user, you will be the first one to get the any changes that's been implemented or introduced into SAP S/4HANA system, or you will be the first one to the latest use the latest get used to the latest software. And it will be a two-tier landscape. One system will be used by your users for training, for example, whereas the production system will be kept separate. So this is a wonderful option for business who will be following a standard business process, and the fit to standard process. And then followed by the public cloud, you have a private cloud. This is for business who would like to have certain customizations or development, who wants to have their own features into the system. And here in private cloud, you have more room for innovation by using SAP BTP technology, the pre-built content or the interfaces which you can connect with the 15,000 plus partners which are available as part of the business ecosystem. And as an extension, I mean, here in this private cloud, you're free to choose between SAP HANA Enterprise Cloud, which we would suggest as well, or you can choose between one of the hyperscaler. It could be AWS or Azure, or Google Cloud, for instance. So it is Alibaba Cloud. It's really depending on the customer, like how they wanted to take care of their infrastructure part. So this is the private cloud. And as an extension to the private cloud, there is an option for on-premise as well. So now we may think like, okay, all this time we were talking about cloud, but what is this on-prem? There are certain business, for regulation purpose. It could be a bank, or it could be a country specific restrictions, or it could be a military facility, whatsoever. But they intend to keep their system or the data inside their premise. But don't worry, under one offer, one contract model from Rise with SAP, still everything is being taken care by SAP. The delivery, the service, the software management, the infrastructure management, everything will be taken care by SAP together with partner iQuantM. So, like I was just discussing here on the choices, you have to choose the infrastructure as a service. It could be any of the hyperscaler, and based on the deployment option, like you can go for public cloud or private cloud. And then one key thing I would like to mention here is, if you are a customer who are subscribing for public SAP HANA public cloud, you are going to follow the standard SAP S4 HANA business process, then SAP is the default infrastructure provider. You will not be able to choose other hyperscaler. So this is for obvious reasons, like it's SAP systems which will be managed by SAP team, which will deliver the latest SAP innovations to the customer, to catch up with the latest technologies and everything. And of course, on private cloud, you have a freedom to choose between the hyperscaler or SAP, data centers. So, like I was mentioning just before, these are the locations of SAP data centers. You can very well get update on this information from the SAP website. or you can reach us. We could help you out a bit on this. And I just spoke about a service delivery. Okay, fine. You choose, where you wanted to run your operations or business, but how the services is going to be delivered? Who is responsible for what? That should be the next question. Yes, we have the service delivery clearly defined out by SAP. For example, if it is a production system, 99.5 percentage SLA will be guaranteed, whereas for non-production it is 95 percentage. But for any reason, if you wanted to increase this SLA from 99.5 to 99.7, you can very well negotiate this with SAP, and if it's agreed and signed, yes, it will be delivered as well. And other responsibilities include software maintenance, software as a service applications will also be delivered by SAP. Of course, as part of infrastructure management, availability, best scalability, etc., everything is taken care. And from iQuantM's part, we will be your implementation partner or system conversion partner, and we will help you through your business process configuration or transformation purpose. And we'll be there with respect to user training and business process improvements or testing, etc. So yes, we can discuss this. Reach out to reach out to our team, and we will give you guidance on this perspective. Now we move to the second C, which is the change in the 5C approach. So, what do we mean by change? Change is pretty much important. Like I was mentioning earlier, the business process is evolving. Like what the business process which was there before 10 years or 5 years, or probably even before 1 year, is not relevant there anymore, because the way that the business is being performed, the way the customers or the stakeholders or your partners are operating is being always challenged, and there is always an evaluation with respect to the business process. For example, if you take SAP, sorry, retail industry, SAP returns management is one of the new module that's been introduced. And who would thought, like before 3 years or 5 years, a module will be introduced to something like this? Because more and more customers are trying and returning their products, which needs to be very well discussed with their suppliers, and it should be refurbished. There is a whole new cycle out of it. But how the business will get to know all this stuff? That's when the business process transformation comes in, where you need to perform a continuous business continuous innovation cycle you should keep on. And as part of business process transformation, SAP Signovia is the tool for SAP business process intelligence. So what is SAP Signovia tool? SAP Signovia is a cloud-based solution which can connect to your SAP ERP or SAP S4HANA system, and then it will read all the business process, or it will mine the data, and it will give an uh, the area where you need to improve with respect to business process. It will give recommendations on what needs to be changed, etc. Of course, it is pretty much integrated with SAP best practice. So you can also automate certain business process. So the whole efficiency level, the whole delivery level, everything, the change can be seen right from the day one. And from the time you implement SAP Signovia, within the first 24 hours, the results are going to be there. So as part of Rise with SAP agreement, uh, the business or the customers are entitled for SAP business process, SAP Signovia Process Manager, SAP Signovia Process Insights, and SAP Signovia Process Collaboration Hub. So, what do we do here with this Process Insights and Process Collaboration Hub? For the starters, in the Process Insight, you can upload 50 GB of one-time load and perform fast analysis of end-to-end process. So this will give a recommendation. This will give you an improvement that needs to be taken care. And in the process manager, you have option to log in up to 3 users, where you will get tailored recommendations on business process improvements. And for the process collaboration hub, up to 10 users are allowed to collaborate for redesigning and standardize. So I want to just quickly touch base on SAP Signavia tool here. Like you see here, this is the standard, the cloud solution. And here you will be seeing the SAP Signavia Process Collaboration Hub. You can review your process here. For instance, you can look into the details of the process, and you can check the time that's been taken and what is the cost that is involved. You can get into the Signavia process manager, where you can see the different business process. Let's say this is the process example. Let's say we choose the core process. For the sake of this demo, I just copied two process, wherein you can compare, you can perform the comparison and understand, what is the difference between the standard process and what is the difference in the process that you are following. For example, like, you can simulate your business process and understand how much time it's taking. For instance, the simulation is possible with three options. It can be step by step, wherein you can see, the flow is going through each step and how much time it is taking. Or you can go by one case, wherein it will give you for a single case what are the efforts, what is the cost involved. And you can see the differences on the right hand side over here. And for example, if it is multiple cases, you can see the the flow here in the multiple cases as well. You can see the numbers changing there. Let's say, take this is the multiple case. Down here, you can see the costs and the total life cycle time, and you can further navigate it. In the interest of time, I'm not just getting into the details of it, but if you further navigate it, you can get to know where the business process is delayed, and then you can improve all these the business process for giving a better insight. Having said that, now we have seen what is the choice approach, and then what is the change approach. Now we will discuss about convert, which is the technical part of it. Let's say the technical migration. So here in convert, if you're an existing SAP customer, SAP provided embedded tools, for example, SAP readiness check, which is a self-service tool from SAP. You can download and upload the data in the SAP application. It will give a recommendations on the simplification item. Simplification item means, what are the changes in the new intelligent suite, or the SAP S4 HANA solution, the digital core. And it will give recommendations on add-on, the Fiori applications that you can use, etc. This is available not just for SAP S4 HANA, but also for BW for HANA solution. So why do we need this readiness check? Like, categorically speaking, just before you start the project, we can perform this readiness check and make sure the system is ready for the conversion. This way you can save a lot of time and efforts while you're performing the project. And then you have custom code migration for performing the analysis on the custom code. As I said, if you are currently running an SAP system, there are a lot of applications you were not using, but it's still lying there on your system. We do not want to carry all these codes into the new system. So custom code migration is integrated with SUM tool, which is the technical part again, where it will remove these codes during the migration. You can reach us to our team, and we are glad to help you or assist you on this front. Again, this custom code migration application is available from SAP Business Technology Platform, or you're free to host in your own environment as well. And okay, the next part, SAP Enable Now and Learning Hub. Now it's not that, like, the embedded tools are useful only for people who are with SAP as an ERP. Even for non-SAP customers who are new to SAP, the tools are there, like SAP Enable Now. So what is Enable Now? The business, the digital transformation journey. It's not just for the C-level managers or decision makers, but it's also for the users. That's the success of the project. So the users, they need to embrace the change. They need to embrace the new business process. They need to understand, how the system will look and feel like. So SAP Enable Now will give an option to create and deliver the content, so that the users will get to know how the solution will look like. They can start using the solution. They can start practicing it. There isn't some additional license involved when it comes to uh, you know creating your own content. But as part of Rise with SAP, for SAP S4 HANA Cloud or Ariba, some select modules and Cloud ALM, There are some free content available for the users to navigate and understand how the solution looks like. Learning Hub is primarily for for your team who is managing the solution. For example, we in iQuantM, we use Learning Hub uh, for understanding the technology to make sure we are staying up to date to demonstrate our knowledge, for instance. And SAP Cloud ALM, like I was mentioning before, the whole rise with SAP uh, approach, the comprehensive service that is delivered with SAP is moving to an intelligent enterprise with cloud approach. So when we are moving your solutions to cloud, it's obvious that you need to have certain tools to manage the solutions in the cloud. So SAP Cloud ALM is your tool for that, and it's included as a part of your enterprise agreement in rise with SAP. So this can be, it's not that you need to use it only for implementation. You can very well use it for operations as well, for job and automation monitoring, or system health monitoring example. And on implementation point of view, you can use it for fast onboarding with respect to public cloud, or you can do project planning, or manage the implementation as well. So these are some of the embedded tools. There are a few other tools, but in the interest of time, I'm just skipping it. For instance, SAP Launchpad service, or mobile starter app, which is the gateway for accessing the applications. Yes, in our one-on-one webinar session, which we are offering you at the end of this webinar, we will discuss more on these tools as well. And the fourth C approach, connect, as I was mentioning, having the data within the enterprise is not going to serve the purpose. It's not going to give the value that the enterprise is looking for. So connecting with your business partners is very essential. So how it's going to help you? For example, you have an SAP Asset Intelligence network. So let's say you have an asset managing partner. So you have a repository wherein the assets are seen by both you and your partner. And when there is a maintenance life cycle reaching, so the partner is not going to wait for you to release the order, but they can proactively reach you and the business and say, what, this particular material or this particular part of the machine is under maintenance or due for maintenance. So in next 1 month or 1 week, we will raise an order, so that once the approval and everything is placed, we will do it, so that the unnecessary delays will be taken off. This is a classical example of how to connect with your partner and how to make the most out of the data. And it's again a cloud-based repository tool. And you have SAP Logistic Business Network for supporting your supply chain. For using logistics business network, transportation management solution should be available in your organization or enterprise. So you can extend the application from SAP technology platform to connect with these business partners for further collaboration. For example, freight collaboration, global track and trace. So you can see, based on the freight movement, is your good going to be delivered on time, or it's going to be delayed. So based on that, you can make a quicker decision. You can reach out to your customer, or you are expecting any material which is going to be delayed. So you can make certain arrangements, from the point of view that this particular delay is not going to have an impact on your operations. So the whole thing is, it's not just only the technical part, how the business is going to benefit, how the potential is unlocked. That's the main benefit of this business network. And one of the main component, SAP Ariba, that we want to talk about is, it's again a cloud solution for both buyers and suppliers. Here in Ariba, the buyers can electronically process the orders and invoices, and suppliers can receive the orders and create and send order confirmations, etc. It's a cloud-based solution. For instance, the suppliers can have an portal wherein they can see uh, all the customers at one place. The supplier portal is available separately, or they are free to choose to have an individual login as well, um, wherein when they see, for instance, when we are exchanging the data with them, one of the supplier might say, okay, in your store, one of the material, it's below the threshold level, you need to refurbish the number, so they might reach out to you. So it's, everything is proactive. It's not like waiting for you to raise an order and then get the materials. So the old way of doing, the traditional way of doing business, it's not there anymore. It's proactive way of doing business. How the efficiency is being increased for the business. Now, the customer experience, the last one of the 5C approach here in customer experience, the SAP Business Technology Platform for extending, it's called side-by-side extensibility, taking your enterprise applications outside your enterprise for connecting with your partner. So again, as part of one offer, Rise with SAP, you're eligible to use SAP Business Technology Platform because you will be entitled for certain CPA credit. CPA is a cloud platform enterprise agreement credit. If you're a public cloud user, you will be having a minimum of 2000 K credit. And if you are in private, you will be having minimum of 4000 credits. And you can choose a service, and then if you feel after a few months or few weeks you wanted to change to a different service, you're flexible to do so. And there is a maximum cap as well. You can discuss on our one-on-one session on all these things. So here in this SAP BTP, as I was mentioning, there are a lot of pre-built integration contents, like 2000 plus pre-built integration content, and it's growing because a lot of partners are contributing, a lot of people are contributing to it, and there are 160 plus connectors available to SAP and third-party systems. So developers, they don't need to create a new connector. So it's readily available. It's API based, so you can just drag and drop. So you can readily start using these connectors. You can realize the benefits from the day one. That's the beauty of it. So you can build, you can run, you can test, and then it's agile based methodology. Like you can reuse the service. So there are a lot of options available with SAP Business Technology Platform. So the credits to pilots are for free, and it's a consumption-based pricing. From the business perspective, the business will be attaining a competitive edge with custom-specific innovations, whereas from the IT perspective, you will be decoupling the extensions, and you will be having an advantage over the tight integration with SAP and third-party applications. Now we have seen what are these details of this Rise with SAP components with the 5C approach. Like I was mentioning here, how it's going to have an impact on the way that we are already dealing with SAP, or let's say, for a new customer, how the license model is going to be. Here with Rise with SAP under one offering and one contract, the licensing is modeled as full usage equivalent, and it's a subscription based license. And of course, like I was mentioning, the choice of infrastructure, and the Fiori or the gateway solutions, which is also part of this Rise with SAP contract, which is not the way for the traditional license. So how this license is calculated, for instance, like I was telling, full usage equivalent. Let's assume, if you are on a public cloud, the minimum number of license that you should be purchasing is 35 FUEs, full usage like equivalents. So in this 35 SUEs, you are free to choose between self-service, which is the basic users, with the basic functions, like goods movement, maintenance, execution, etc. If you are an core users, one FUE will be 5 core users. So what do we mean by core users? If you are a user who are following a business process, like order to cash or procure to pay, so these are referred as core users. Or one FUV will be one advanced users. So what do we mean by advanced users? Users who will be performing the finance transactions. So basically, advanced user capabilities include the capabilities from core user and self-service user as well. So if you have one advanced user, they can perform the functions of core user and also the self-service user. So you can really manage, how you wanted to model your license. You are free to choose it as well. And if you're a private cloud subscriber, you will be buying at least minimum 60 full usage equivalent. and there also the same thing applies, like one FUE is 30 self-service, or 5 core users, or one advanced users. And one difference between public and private, of course, in private, you will be changing the system from the perspective, you'll be developing something new. So one full usage equivalent will be zero point 0.5 developer users. So if you wanted to have one developer, then it means that, like, two FUEs will be taken out from your license. So this is the license model with respect to RISE with SAP. And the business case, okay, fine. We have seen, if I want to recap, we understand what is the intelligent enterprise and what is RISE with SAP and the components inside RISE with SAP, following our 5C approach. And what is the roadmap for customers, with reference to new customers, or the customers who are already in SAP. And then how these, how the 5Cs look in detail. What are the key components that the business should be knowing, everything. Now, the line of business solutions, like I was mentioning, and the line of business solutions is also offered from SAP. Here, the business values, we just picked up, because there are a lot more line of business solutions, but we just picked up, like, for example, mobility, manufacturing industry, and uh, uh, utilities industry as well. So here in this line of business, you can see the business values that is been derived with RISE with SAP delivery model, or RISE with SAP approach. For mobility industry, they can increase the revenue through more upsell and cross-sell opportunities, or they can reduce the cost. The same with the manufacturing industry, they can reduce the cost by business process automation. They can business process re-engineering as well. And for utilities line of business, they can extend the portfolio for energy services. They can activate the achieve the high cash conversion, or lower the business and technology risk. So these are some of the business values that we have just put to your eyes, to give you an overview, like, how the business can get the most out of it. So again, we are in the end of our session. Thank you everyone for being with us for the last 50 minutes, and now it's your time.
Thanks, Ananta. It was so informative. And we have listed down all the questions that is being asked by the attendees, and we have sent it to you. So in the interest of time, how many questions that you can, whatever the questions that you can answer the attendees, please do. And rest of the questions, whatever that is being asked by the attendees, will be sent as mail to them. Yeah, all the answers for the questions that is being asked by the attendees will be sent as mail to them. Yeah. So it's been listed to you, Ananda. So
Yes, Lokesh, understood. Okay, let me have a look into the questions. Just give me a minute, guys. Okay, I have a question, like, what's the timeline required for implementing this solution, Mark? Okay, it's a open question, I would say. Like, we it depends on, what's your landscape. I understand you were mentioning it's an ECC with enhancement package, but you would like to know what is the current level or current state of your system. And we wanted to understand, what are the components that's been implemented, and are you looking at business transformation at first, followed by, together with the technical conversion, and what is your deployment model? So yes, like I said, it's an open question, and we can connect with you. We can discuss with you in our one-on-one session. But let's assume, let's say, based on the June 2020 analysis, or survey that is performed by SAP. Just for the system conversion, it takes approximately 6 to 8 months. Having said that, now the whole RISE with SAP journey, it will not be only the system conversion, but also it could be change in your infrastructure, the business process transformation. So as I said, we need to discuss, like like I was mentioning in the roadmap, we can have a one-on-one strategic assessment with you, and then we will come out on a roadmap, and then we can suggest the best way forward. Okay. I have a question from it's will I be okay? Which is the best option for hosting for our business? Okay. Best option for hosting. Again, it's depending on your business. Like I believe you're already running in SAP, so you're looking at the private cloud with system conversion based on the question, the details that you have provided. So here, let's say if you can go for SAP HANA Enterprise Cloud. I have given the data center locations, or you are free to choose SAP. I mean the other hyperscalers. Uh, depending on the cost or depending on the scalability, reliability, security, the availability, depending on the region where you are operating from. So I would say yes, we need to understand what is your requirement. Probably if you wanted to have more follow more standard business process, yes, public cloud will be your way to go, which I was explaining as one of the sessions. Any more questions?
Yes, Ananta, there is another question, which is like, will I be able to get a package of service? If yes, what will be in your package?
Package of service, I assume we are referring to the services offered from iQuantM as a partner service, if I understand right. In this case, as part of our service portfolio, which you have explained, Shri, we will be the implementation partner or application management support partner. We can also help with the business process transformation, or one of the engagement which we are already doing. I should say, we are engaged with the large enterprise. We are their PMO. We are their project management office in their digital transformation journey with one of the customer here in UK. So yes, we are a pure play SAP company. So our service offering is very much open with respect to SAP solution or RISE with SAP journey, except the responsibilities which are under SAP. For instance, SLA of the infrastructure, or the software management, the software as a service solutions, Ariba, success factors. The rest of the solutions, yes, pretty much we can take care of it.
Thanks, Ananta. In the interest of time, can I have
One
last
last,
question?
yeah, one last question. It's by Jeffrey. If I am an existing SAP customer with an experienced SAP basis team, how will their role change post RISE conversion? Um, it's going to be the same, Jeffrey, in the sense, like I was mentioning, the SAP service delivery model I was referring in one of the previous slide. So here in this SAP service delivery model, there are certain set of services delivered by SAP, and then certain services delivered by partner, and then certain services delivered by the customer. They will take care of themselves. For example, like if there is an transportation movement between the systems, still that is part of the customer journey. And we can be part of this RISE with SAP implementation or transformation project, and we will be there for hypercare support. And post that, your basis team can take care of your systems. So the delivery model, depending on the delivery model, how you are signing the delivery model, the roles and responsibilities will differ.
Thanks, Ananta. Thanks everyone for joining this webinar, and hope this webinar would be so informative in understanding RISE with SAP. And there are a couple of more questions that needs to be answered. So we would get back to you with answers to your email. And if